up? Welcome to Quackalope. Today we are bringing you another one of our list videos in these end-of-year series. And today it is going to be our biggest disappointments of 2021.
This year had some great stuff, Shira, and we covered that yesterday. You can watch it in the best games
of 2021.
Yes. This isn't that video. If you're concerned about being offended, have your feelings hurt a little bit, or us to talk
you have come to the right
some
place.
Games you like.
Welcome.
Woo.
Pull up a chair.
Yeah. We both have a list of, 7 to 10. You didn't quite have 10.
No.
I did get to 10 plus, so there is 20 here, but we're calling it overall our biggest disappointments.
Yes.
We are releasing a whole series of these list videos to commemorate the new year. Last year we did 5 on the same day. This time we're doing them spread across a week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out the video tomorrow where we break down 50 games we got rid of this year, and everything else next year. Our most anticipated games coming out of 2022. And with that, let's start the video, Shira, with your first game.
My first game. I think it's going to be on your list
I'm
as well.
so scared of your list.
Oath. Is it on your list as well?
Oh, yeah. Oath is on my list.
It had to be.
Of course it is. It's sitting right there.
Okay. We did a 5-game campaign, 4-game campaign.
We did a public 5-game campaign, and we played more across the board.
This is by the same people who made Root, and it is one of our favorite games. And it had an overarching story that was supposed to pull us in even more. And we found the deeper and deeper and deeper that we got into it, there were massive critiques and criticisms that meaningfully took away from the gaming experience.
Here's my issue.
Yes.
I still believe, in my heart of hearts, I should like Oath. It is one of the most thematic, story-driven, interesting games I've ever played. I just don't like playing it.
You want to like playing it. You keep telling me every time I bring it up, you're like, I want to like it.
I want to like this game, and I don't. And I don't quite... I understand reasons why. I can point out the difference in the battle values and some of the rules and elements that are a little bit confusing. I can point out the fact that it feels like it's driven towards king-making by the end of it.
Yes, that's my...
I have critiques, and I have meaningful critiques that make it not a game I ever want to play again. I will, maybe, if it's with Alex and it's like 4 or 5 players. But Oath. Oath, I would have told you last year is one of my most anticipated games, and this year it has to be on the list as one of the games that I was the most disappointed by. And not that it's a bad game.
I was so excited when I hear
a brilliant game.
When I heard the creators of Root came out with another game that was... It sounded so interesting.
I think it is a brilliant game. It just was not right for me. Talking about other games that I was disappointed by, let's touch base on Merchant's Cove.
Okay. Yes, I had expectations built up.
Is this on your list?
It is on my list. I had expectations built up about this game. I was told that it was going to be an in-depth puzzle-solving game with asymmetric...
The advertisement on it compared it to Root.
Yes, it
which
did.
I understand by the end of it, like, people were coming out and saying, the designer was coming out and saying, like, it was never intended to be a comparison to Root. That doesn't mean that it wasn't, by nature of the asymmetry and the marketing that was done around the game, it was driven as an asymmetric, like a little bit of a lighter asymmetric Root-style puzzle where you're working against kind of the clock in the middle.
And so I was anticipating something heavy. I was anticipating something asymmetric, powers and abilities, really I can dive into. And it was lackluster. It was just very superficial. I didn't feel involved in the puzzles. I didn't feel involved in kind of what was going on in the middle of the board. I played it numerous times, playing numerous factions, and I could not...
I still want to try some of the expansions.
I couldn't get involved in any of the puzzles.
All the puzzles were pretty straightforward and simple, and none of them changed the nature of the middle of the game state. And that's where the game fell apart for me. I wanted the asymmetric powers and problems we were solving to have a real impact on everyone else at the game. And it didn't. And maybe my expectations, I guarantee my expectations were wrong because of what I thought the game was going to be. However, when you take the game apart from that and stand it up on its own, it wasn't a knockout of the park. And a lot of voices were right around the same page on that. Yeah. I do want to play with the expansions. I still want to mix in. I still want to give it another shot. I want to give some of the elements a fair shake, but we did our first impressions video and then we continued playing after that. And I've played every base faction now, and none of them have changed my core opinion of the game. So, sad to say it. You want me to bring another one up just because you have a shorter list than me and I'm knocking yours off?
Sure.
Black Rose Wars.
Well, you brought it up?
Is it on yours?
Yes.
Oh no, we're just checking all of hers off.
I mean, this happened with yours in yesterday's video, so...
Black Rose Wars is on this list not because of the game itself. It's on this list for two reasons. The first reason, and by the way...
It's been coming out for the past, 2020, 2021, and 2022. It's just evolving.
I'm super excited about the next stage of Black Rose Wars. Don't get me wrong. I love the game system. I love the deck building. I love the core mechanics of the game. Here's the two issues that I have. The lack of player aid in Black Rose Wars made it unplayable without supplemental content.
Yes.
That was a shocking disappointment and made it very, very hard to table and continues to make it hard to table. The second thing is going to be that when I went out and got all of Black Rose Wars, I also got the Seder box, which Devin brought to the channel here recently, one of our close friends, as we were breaking down a Shell for Cell segment, and he had a very compelling point. He told me
that you are never going to dive into the game if you have the Seder box in your collection. You have to spend a half hour, a couple hours incorporating the Seder box into the main box.
There's cards that switch, there's mechanics that change, there's more rules to learn, and I want to be the person that has it all. I like having the freedom of the game. I love the game. I think the game's a 4 out of 5 for me. That I will never play because it has made itself unattainable, and that is disappointing.
The rulebook for me is also a disappointment. It is a very hard rulebook and really hard teach. I mean, there are only 4 people in the entire United States that I'm willing to play this with. And if they're not all together, I'm not going to dive in.
And when we all were together,
we didn't get it to the table.
We didn't get it to the table. You want me to try another one?
Sure.
This one I know is not on your list.
List.
Cubitos.
Correct. It is not on my list.
Everyone around me loved Cubitos. Everyone. Except for Rena, Alex's wife, Board Game Co.'s wife, and she's right, which is fantastic. She didn't love it.
Okay.
She found it ridiculous.
Cubitos is the better version of Quackalope.
It's not. It's not.
A dice.
For the record, this isn't a strike against John DeClaire. If you're watching this, I love your stuff. We have gameplay of Rolling Realms. Rolling Heights.
I was about to say, it's Rolling Heights.
We have gameplay of Rolling Heights coming out very soon,
One of my most anticipated games for 2022.
That is a mind-blowing, remarkable game.
And it's going to replace Quacks of Quackalope.
Yes,
it is so
do
magnificent.
It. Absolutely. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It'll replace both of them. Guess what? Cubitos sucks. Cubitos is a 2 out of 5.
Oh my goodness.
I never want to play that game.
So much fun. You are getting different factions of dice and you are rolling them and you're trying to race around a board and get there first and you are
I don't like the powers.
I
don't like the debuff on the dice. I don't like the rolling mechanic of the dice. I don't like the race system in the game. I don't like the decision to...
You don't like board games. That's what I'm
No, Quacks of Quedlinburg is lovely.
Awful. Bad rule. Push your
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't published this year because you now can't talk about it. You want me to bring up another one?
Sure.
The Whatnot Cabinet.
No! Oh, that is one of my actually favorite games.
I know. That's why it's on my disappointed list.
It didn't make the list.
I wanted to like it with Shira because she loves it. She really likes the game.
Much
Do you know how
fun.
disappointing it is to sit down in front of a game that you're desperately trying to like and you don't like it enough that you don't want it even in the collection? You tried to get it at the store and I was like...
Okay, so this is a genre of game that you don't like in general.
I don't like it in general.
It is a puzzle-solving, tile-placing
game. But it's simple.
Point scoring, and your brain just doesn't know how to play these games.
I did all the birds.
Yes.
It didn't win.
I know.
Which is, for me...
Because you go for thematic elements, you don't go for mechanic elements.
I feel restricted and driven by luck in these simpler tile placement or drafting and placement games. It's the biggest complaint I have of things like Calico, Cascadia, Verdant, the Whatnot Cabinet, the Canvas. All of these games are compelling in some ways.
Azul? You're going to loop Azul in there?
No, I don't think so, because Azul, you have a little bit of luck, but luck is mitigated by the way that you're drawing from the board. There's a lot more strategy there. These games are generating as you're playing immediately, and you're the one suffering for it. I just don't like the system. It is too simple and too open to luck for me to feel like I have control over what I'm playing. It's why I like Luna Capital.
I think there is enough mitigation that the luck is not as much of importance.
Honestly, this could be a critique on all of those game systems. I haven't found one that I love yet out of that core system, and that's disappointing. That stinks. Luna Capital, I guess it's comparable. Like, Luna Capital would be, for me, the best one. But the Whatnot Cabinet was the worst of the bunch.
Now it's my turn.
All right. You're going to hurt me?
Prefacing.
Okay.
This is a game that
there's a preface here.
Has taught me that this is a game mechanic I hate.
Oh no.
And this game,
do I love it?
While there is nothing wrong with the game, is not for me and is just representation of the fact that this game mechanic is my worst game mechanic ever.
Okay.
Do you want to know what it is?
No.
Do you want to take a guess?
None of us do.
Okay. Dodo's Riding Dinos.
Oh, no! I love Dodo's Riding Dinos!
I know. And I am not trying to ding Dodo's Riding Dinos. I am dinging dexterity games.
Oh, the whole genre?
The whole genre. And
is this why you're getting rid of all my dexterity games?
And this is why... And Dodo's Riding Dinos is the one that was released this year, the one that was played, and we have it on gameplay on the channel, and it is just representative of the fact that dexterity games has fallen dramatically this year. I do not like dexterity games.
I have been trying so hard. We have
I know what you're talking about. I think it starts at it's a huge, massive box, Catacombs.
It'll pop into my head. No, the circle game where you're flicking stuff.
Flick of Faith?
No.
Oh,
We're naming a lot of great dexterity games, though.
All of them I want to go buy, and the one that you're Crokinole.
Crokinole. We have Crokinole on the way.
Crokinole is actually one I like.
Okay. We're starting somewhere. Dodo's Riding Dinos is such a fun party adventure squall.
We just played a RPG that involved dexterity, and it is not my cup of tea.
I need to find dexterity that she likes quick, just like she needs to find simple puzzle games that I like quick.
Yeah.
Or else we're going to write off the whole genre for one another.
Yeah.
I need to hide games. Like, when I come to her and I go, this game is tactical dice placement, and just avoid the word dexterity.
And I need to hide
and
puzzles.
Dodo's was the worst for you?
And Dodo's was...
Or the example of?
It was the example of, for me, this year. It is a fantastic game.
It's a race game. Yeah. It's a race game with hilarious dexterity elements built in where you can knock people off the track. If you like dexterity, it's fantastic. If you don't, it's good dexterity, which means you'll hate it. All right, let me continue going down then. I'm going to bring... I think I know one on your list. I'm going to avoid it so that we can talk about some that aren't on your list. I'm going to bring Rift Force.
Rift Force? That's a disappointment?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not...
It is a two-player lane battling system.
We played it a lot.
Yeah. I didn't put it on my list because... I hate to say it, it was insignificant to me. It wasn't bad enough that I thought it belonged on my list of biggest disappointments, and it wasn't
I hear it.
And so it was just like, it was so middle ground that I was like, I don't care which list it goes.
I'm not going to fight for it. But I wanted to, I was looking through and thinking through the stuff that I had expectations of, and they didn't quite match that.
I would have put it on my list if I...
Rift Force disappointed me in two camps. One camp, it disappointed me because of the publisher that it's coming from. Makes a lot of games that I really love. A lot of thinky puzzle games, and not thinky puzzle games, but thinky heavier games. And Rift Force, I think, has the framework to be something that I like without having enough punch to make it sell for me, and without having an overall theme that was cohesive enough for me to be sucked in. There was a lot of chances for Rift Force to be a game. It's a 3 for me. I'm happy to play it, but there was a lot of chances for Rift Force to be a solid 4 or higher, and it just fell short on a lot of different levels.
Yep. I hear you. I can't argue. It was a mediocre game to me.
Yeah.
My list. Steam Watchers.
Okay. Steam Watchers.
Steam Watchers belongs in my all-time favorite genre, area control. And the fact that it did not meet my expectations. I was expecting a very amazing area control game. And I think because it did not have any really other strong mechanics going on in the game to supplement the area control, the straight area control fell short. It became just punching the leader, and that can go circuitous and doesn't really ever feel good.
I've had good gameplays of Steam Watchers, and I've had really bad gameplays with Steam Watchers. The nature of the game, it's very Risk-like in some ways. You can almost perfectly math out a lot of your movement. It's a tight game when it comes to resource and actions, but the puzzle of how you actually expand and play it, it's interesting, because it did get better the more we played. However, it never rose to the occasion. It never stood out among area control style games, and like you said, it doesn't have any supplementing mechanics that help redeem it.
I felt like it became punishing. The more fun you wanted to have, the more cool things you wanted to have,
the more you had to beat up on people.
The more you had to beat up on people and yourself. You had to just start like using your red fuel, your red algo fuel, and that was just hurting yourself in the end and killing your soldiers, restricting your placement on your own board. The asymmetric factions, I felt like, could have been developed a little deeper and given more powers and abilities.
I would have liked to see...
I like the caravan, the train. I think that was one of my favorite expansions that we added in.
I would have liked to see some type of mechanic. I like that the actions are driven by region, because I think that's interesting, because it requires you to spread, but spreading's dangerous for you, and I think that's purposeful. The thing for me is that it drove to negative player interactions and negative solo board experience, and the other element for me is I would have liked to see some sort of combat system that wasn't perfectly mathable. Here, you could see your forces, you could see your opposing forces, you knew exactly how much algo fuel the opponent could spend, and there was never an environment in multiple different types of play environments that I've been in where people didn't spend exactly what they had to make sure they won it, because the cost of losing a battle,
was just so
when
detrimental.
you were the one engaging with it, it would sink your game.
And you just didn't engage in any battles that you knew you couldn't win, and so you would just math it out.
Yeah. So, Steam Watchers, I think we both are on the same page there. Let's bring in Imperium. You never played this.
I did not.
You never played this. And I need to go back. I need to understand why people like this game so much. I'm looking forward to playing it solo. I want to dive back in. The artwork's fantastic. The theme of it's right up my alley. But Alex and I sat down to dig into it. And then he continued playing it more after me. But the first experience I've had with Imperium so far has been confusing, and I couldn't sink my teeth into why the puzzle was worth continuing to engage in. It's this sequence of card play where you're trying to build out your civilization and your city, and
Imperium?
Yes, Imperium. It's Imperium. You're not thinking, it's not Dune Imperium. It's not.
No, but I'm mixing it up with Mythwind then.
Oh no, not Mythwind.
Okay.
Mythwind's a prototype though.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Imperium is another game. It's a full published game. They have many expansions that came out. It's hard to get your hands on. A lot of people loved it. It was the BGG top hot list for a long time. I want to try it solo. I want to relearn it, maybe with some people that really love it. But right now, I'm really disappointed that I didn't like it, because it's one of those games that I've looked at from the periphery for a long time and thought that it would be right up my alley. So,
another one on my list: Valor and Villainy.
Oh, okay. You liked it so much when you first tried it, though.
No. Oh, I liked the first one.
Oh, okay.
And then the second one that we played totally tanked it for me.
The dungeon crawl.
Yes.
Okay.
I liked the first one. I liked it when it was one versus many. I liked that mechanic a lot. That one's Mordak, right? Minions of Mordak and Ludwig's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
So I like Minions of Mordak. Ludwig's Labyrinth was the one where the dungeon crawl, I just had so many negative experiences with it.
Dungeon crawl isn't your core system. It
had a lot more story.
I like the dungeon crawl more than I like the original.
Yeah.
And for the record, that is a prototype. So that's still not one that is finished and in people's hands.
I hear. It was a notable experience for the year.
Fair enough. Yeah. I don't know. You really liked the original, and I think the hype off the original
it was
soured
just a
your
disappointment.
expectations for the follow-up. because you liked being the powerful, Demi, ruining people's careers and lives and throwing them halfway across the map. And then we stick you in the seat where you're playing in part of a team and you're going up against an opponent, and the flavor text is more crucial, and the crawling through the labyrinth is more crucial, and it felt punishing to you. And yeah, I can understand.
What's next on your list?
Let's see here. What do I have? What do I actually have left? Oh, I have 2 left. Do you have anything left that's worth talking about?
I have 1 left.
Okay. My next one is going to be Kingdom Death Monster. Because no list here at Quackalope would be complete without Kingdom Death Monster on it in some form or fashion. Best solo game, best 2-player, best game of all time, most anticipated for next year, and of course...
biggest disappointment of 2021.
Kingdom Death has disappointed me in 2 major ways this year. And I think it's beginning to extend to a large part of the community as well. I'm not alone in this disappointment. First off, I have been and continually am becoming more and more frustrated and disappointed with just the pure lack of communication from the team over there, from Poots himself, on what is actually in development, what is actually coming out, when are we expecting real hard dates. Not dates that you think you're going to project for things to ship, but like, when are you done developing? When are we getting the next wave of stuff? Because all we got this year was the 1.6 upgrade pack, which were fixes that the community had prescribed about 2 years ago. Like, you're behind the curve when it comes to the rest of your community in such a substantial way, and there's some degree of miscommunication when it comes to listening to what the fans are asking for and delivering. And I know the hype's going to come back full force. It's still my best game of all time, but when the Gambler's Chest arrives, it's projected next year, guess what? It's not going to be here next year. When the Gambler's Chest arrives... do
you really think that they have not damaged something irreparably? I am wondering.
I think it is both. I think they could have not damaged something irreparably. I think they have damaged a substantial amount irreparably with a substantial amount of their fan base. And I think that's really sad. I'm sad to see that happen. Because the comments in the communities, from the Facebook groups to the Discord to the Reddit, have turned from a passion and a loving community when I first got into the space to 80% or 60% of the people engaged. And I know it's online, it's the internet, right? But so many people are just pissed off. Yeah. And people like me, who have spent a fortune on Kingdom Death, love and obsess over it. We're still playing through a campaign. It's one of the things that we're enjoying the most right now. Yeah. When it comes to actually interacting with your community that you have failed to foster, I no longer enjoy being in that hubbub, right?
I think it's a big ding against the company.
I think it is. But that being said, they're also perfectionists, and they never fail to deliver. I don't want to give any impression that I doubt what Poots is doing. I don't. Your money's in good hands. You're going to get more value than you put in. It's going to be years late, and we all knew that from the start. I'm not trying to join the forces that are embattled in this idea that they're not delivering. They are, they have, and they will continue to. I'm just really sad at the way that they've failed to engage with people and listen to feedback. And I'm really disappointed by the lack of clear expectations and deadlines when it comes to completing projects. Because I don't think we're going to see Wave 4. I don't think we're going to see the Gambler's Chest for the better part of a year. It's not going to be here by this time next year. It was supposed to be here by Gen Con this year, and it's not even out to print yet. And I don't believe we're going to see Wave 4 for many years forward. Wow. And that's a big deal. It really is. It will be a decade before people get the final version of this project. Yeah. And the project's amazing. I don't mean to take anything away from that. It's still my number 1 of all time. And then the second thing, they redid this King's Coin thing. I need to make a dedicated video on this, but why? Why? Like, you did the King's Coin to start with as a gift card. The King's Coin first came out during the pandemic, and my perception of it is that it was a release with the intent to raise money during a time when they couldn't produce and ship. That's my perception. That's me trying to give them goodwill. And I don't mind that. If they just released a model that you'd get in 2 years or something to raise funds during a hard time, whatever. We all support you. I was right there at your back supporting you. The King's Coin was a gift card that gave you early access to limited models. I currently pay for a phone service that calls me when Kingdom Death updates.
Yep, I know that service.
And I check right away, right?
Yep.
The white speaker.
Yep.
Because it's always been a hotspot of limited models, you can't get access to them, and so you find solutions. You stay up all night, you wait on the line, you bet your lucky stars that you get the expansions, you get the exclusives, you get the models, and you're happy when you do. And they released a gift card to cut that window out. You buy the gift card, and they release a model early for you to buy, and you can use your gift card bucks to go towards that. And they pulled it, and they refunded like $100,000 or $200,000 to the community because they sold out immediately. And honestly, that is the thing that broke my love of collecting Kingdom of Death. Because now they're making it even harder. It's already been hard enough, and now they made it even harder for me to get there. Mm-hmm. And then this year, during Black Friday, they had to pull the plug within 15 minutes of their NFT and cryptocurrency experiment with Kingdom Death, with the King's Coin. It's the most cursed coin in board games. It's the biggest blunder Kingdom Death has made in terms of a product line. And again, it shows some degree of blindness to the greater community. I'm going to make a dedicated video on this, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I've harped on too long, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. There we for those Kingdom Death fans that are watching, nice to have you here. You can check out our campaign over on Patreon or the videos featured here on the channel. Have fun, enjoy.
Do you have any other games on your list?
Ish.
So I have one more game on my list, and it is coming off the backs of my all-time favorite game of all time.
No.
And this game is on my list because I had such high expectations for it, and I am not saying it is a bad game in any sense of the word. But I had high expectations of it because of its big box version, and therefore, Ares Expedition.
Whoa!
Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition is one of the biggest disappointments of 2021 for me.
You love Terraforming Mars too much.
I love Terraforming Mars.
It'd be like if you released a cute chibi version of Kingdom Death. I love that. Never mind. I'd still love it.
So Terraforming Mars is my girl game. I love it. I love the expansions. I love how intense it can get. And the fact that it got, in my opinion, which is nothing, but in my opinion, it got dumbed down and accessible to everybody else, made the game poor. And I know Alex has come up with a way to make it better, and he
also loves the solo mode.
I have to give it a shot because I'm going to give it a fair shot, but it was a huge disappointment for me. I was very excited to get a shorter version because this game is a huge time hog.
Yeah.
When bringing it to the table, you are committing to at least a minimum of 2 hours, most likely 3 or 4, depending on player count. And I was
1
excited.
to 2 if it's our group and we know how to play.
That's very, very, that's when we're all playing on our game very tightly.
That's fair.
Ares Expedition was supposed to cut that in half and still give you a lot of the flavor of the game, and I did not feel that flavor. So that's on my biggest disappointments.
I think it's a good game. But I think it's fair to say that it was a giant disappointment for you. I think it's fair to say. The last thing that I have, and then the last thing I'm going to wrap up this video on, is going to be the board game funding death spiral that happened earlier this season. There's so many campaigns.
Oh, there's 2 games that I have that I'm very disappointed, that are on my list that were disappointing because they did not fund.
Oh, are you going to list them still?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my list too, but this year has seen some amazing games get funded. And then we got to September, October, and a lot of the indie gems that are amazing games, for some reason, just the wind was not behind them.
Yeah.
There was no stimulus there. There were still concerns about the economy and the environment and
with
inflation and the shipping crisis.
Yeah.
And some of the best games of the year didn't get their leverage. And so I have 3 here that I really, really expected to fund, and I'm really sad that they I believe they might have now, but they certainly didn't when they first did.
I have 2 that
it kind of hurt me.
Have not funded, and they're hoping to relaunch.
It kind of hurt me.
Who do you have?
First is going to be Bloodstone from early in the year.
Oh wow. Nice.
Now this one was a bit of a tactical blunder, and they're coming back at it with a fresh force. But Bloodstone was amazing. And it was really disappointing to watch it not quite do where it needed to do to justify. But it's like the best version of skirmish dice thrones you could imagine. Pachamama
Pachamama's on my list.
Man, what a cool puzzle. Maybe it's hard to explain to the community or something, but what a great puzzle game.
I don't even know what genre it falls in, but you are all...
It's like tile-laying pattern recognition.
You are all trying to solve a puzzle and figure out what is in front of you. You all have some pieces of information. You don't have complete sets of information. And it is not cooperative in any sense, yet it ends up being a semi-cooperative experience. Does not depend on an app, which was my favorite part about it. I loved that it had this really cool dial that as you slide it, you reveal what's at each location as you are predicting what is at each location and solving the logic puzzle of it. Amazing, and I am so sad it didn't fund.
Yeah, the next one for me is going to be Taverns and Dragons. This was a adorable little chibi game, beautiful artwork, coming from a publisher that's done some good work. I don't know, I had a sweet spot for this game. I thought it was really, really lovely. I liked the way that you're kind of running around this track and taking various actions and popping and moving, and I thought, honestly, the artwork and the theme of it was going to sell it to a lot of people. I was really sad to see it struggle there.
So similar, I was sad to see collab. Not fun.
What a weird game. What a twist of nature type of game.
But so cool. Mechanics that I have not seen integrated into one picture were integrated. Tableau building, worker placement, but using other people's workers at the same time, getting better locations. It was really fun, and I guess maybe the community didn't really see how much fun it was.
I think it was really hard to communicate to people how good it was, and they didn't advertise the little kitty enough. Really.
The Cthulhu kitty.
They didn't. The Cthulhu kitty is probably the best selling point they have.
So that is one. I was super sad. There's one more that I'm blanking on the name, but it was an area control game I played without you, with Alex and someone else.
Alex and Ezzy, I believe.
Yeah, it was a magnificent area control game that also did not fun.
You said it was a weird little twist of indie, but both of you kept requesting it after it was gone.
Yeah. And I'm hoping it comes back. I'll have to post in the comment link it what game it was, but that's also there's some disappointing gems that really I get so excited when I get a prototype and I'm
we like it and it's so fun.
I know, it's like this has the opportunity of being a game, and then when it doesn't, I'm like, dang, can I keep the prototype and keep playing?
That's how that works.
So I think that wraps up our...
What a year. Overall, it's been a good year, though.
Yeah, overall, it's been a fantastic year.
It's been a good year. You know. And but those are the things, those are the things I've clearly been thinking about the Kingdom Death thing too much. I need to just make the darn video. I went off.
Oh, yeah, I had to nudge you. I was like, okay, you were turning this video to a Kingdom Death rant, and that's not what the video is about.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I love the game too much. I care too much.
I know, but that's not what this video is about.
It was about biggest disappointments, and, for some people, this video was that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Whatever the case, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Make sure you click on the boxes that are popping up right now. There's other good videos to watch. There's a Shelf and Sell series that's coming out soon. There's, the video we did yesterday. If you haven't seen that, that's the best games of the year. It's really fantastic. And what's this? Ooh, this is a beautiful yellow floating subscribe button that you could click and you could just not miss anything at all, ever, period. I mean, there's lots of things you could do. There's so many opportunities, minutes and minutes and hours of videos you go on. Honestly, I don't know why you wouldn't